arrived today. I ordered a couple of David Austin Bearwood roses and they just arrived. Oh my god! This is my first time ever ordering roses online, so super excited. Oh gosh, alright, so this is what it looks like when you order bare root roses. They come, as the name says, bare root, so just the root and then your already pruned rose. And I ordered 3. So I ordered Roald Dahl, which is beautiful. It has medium peach, like apricot peach bloom, and very few thorns, so I'm really happy about that. It has a beautiful fragrance. I also ordered the Lady Gardener, which is also apricot but with larger blooms. And finally, Wildeve. And this is more of a blush pink and the outer petal H2 white, so it's absolutely beautiful. So they look quite healthy and freshly dug. I mean, they're still moist, so I won't have to soak them for long. So I'm really happy because when you order bare root roses, all the job is done for you. The roses are pruned, they're ready to go. Let me come a bit closer. And you can see here, it has a tag with the variety, so I'm going to make sure to leave the tag on so I know what's what. And then I also ordered a little bag of mycorrhizal fungi, and this is something that you put on the roots to help them create a better root system and increase the water and nutrient uptake. Can I grow roses in pots? And apparently you can. I selected this particular species because they're well adapted to be grown in pots, and this is all I have room for here in my garden, and I'm going to plant 1 per pot and probably underplant them a bit later in the season. The first step though, when you plant bare root roses, is to make sure you pop them into some water just to make sure that their roots can be hydrated as well as possible. So what we're going to do is place these in water. And I already went ahead and pre-filled the bucket with just some rainwater from my little water harvesting. So I'll leave these soaking in water for about an hour and then I'll pop them up into their pots. We'll see you back in an hour. So now our roses are soaking and I'm going to fill up these big pots. Those are terracotta and I really like that roll rim design. I think they look really pretty. This is a little piece of fleece that you can put on your seedlings to protect them from the cold temps, and I'm just going to lay a little piece of that on top of the drainage holes because it's quite a big hole and I don't want to have loose soil everywhere on my patio. A coffee filter would work as well. Really want to make sure that this rose is going to be happy from the get-go and really well watered. So because my compost is really dry, I'm going to add a bit of water as I fill up with compost just to make sure that I'm not going to get any air pockets. Okay, so the roses have been soaking and now I'm going to plant them and I'm going to be sprinkling some of that specialized fungi to help the roots grow. So here is our bare root rose that has been soaking for a little while. This is the Lady Gardener. So there's a couple of things to be careful about. So first you can see here I already pre-filled my pot with moistened compost about halfway through, and now I'm trying to be really careful about that graft junction. I'm a little bit of 2 minds with this because on David Austin website it says that you want to bury that about 5 centimeters deep, so 2 inches deep, but when you do something in pots the behavior is always a bit different. So I've also read that you actually want to have that graft union a little bit above the ground, so I'm not sure which way to go, so this will be a bit of a trial, so bear with me. But one other thing you can be careful about is of course making sure that your rose is centered in the pot and that you spread out the roots really well. Let me see, is this in the middle? This is what it looks like, and so I need to sprinkle about 1/3 of that packet per rose. And I'm just carefully backfilling with pre-moistened compost, and again that's really to help the roots to be directly in contact with nice moist soil and they can start drawing the nutrients right there and then. So I've gone for halfway approach if that's possible, and just try to line up the bottom of the rose to a couple of inches below the lip of the pot, and just leaving that lip will help me with watering. When you water roses you want to really make sure that no water goes on the foliage, so it will really help me avoid backsplash of any kind. The guideline mentioned to leave those roots soak for 2 hours, but because they arrived and were still really moist, this one has only been soaking for 45 minutes, but I think that will be fine. And by the time I'm finished with it, the last rose will have soaked for, I would say, at least an hour and a half, so that should be fine. Now I'm just compressing the soil lightly. I don't want to damage the roots, but I want to make sure that there's no air pockets because you could see the soil was quite fluffy. So my 3 roses are planted, and again I planted, this is Wildeve, I also have Roald Dahl and the Lady Garner. I just cannot wait for early summer when the first blooms are going to appear. In terms of care now, I'm going to make sure to keep those pots really well watered so that the rose has a good chance to establish, and next month around April I'll be giving a big fertilizer round to, well, all the plants in the garden, but also to those roses to give them the best chance of kickstarting their new life. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.